come from Groote Eylandt. I'm an Aboriginal health worker practitioner. I've been doing my work since 1988. I love doing it because I do it for my people and my community. Death is not a frightening thing. It's just like when you come into this world, you get reborn, and as we go, it is the same. When you lose loved ones, you need to be there to help them. Also, as a community, you need to be there to help them go through with that journey where they're going. We need to offer our support. I think with this advanced care plan, it does mean so much, and it means a lot to me.
My husband was sick, and he was sick for a long time, and I always help him, keep him a bath, keep him food, and take him to the toilet.
Before his passing, he took his family away to country, and that's where he enjoyed most, when he was out and about with his family and kids. Mm.
He passed away, and he told Kenny about what is happening with his body, and he told Kenny not to go to the big hospital, like in Guelph and in Dow. He want to stay in the community, to pass away with his families.
Lucky to work with Jenny.
Coming up 20 years at the end of 2018, so I'm very spoilt to have worked alongside Helen and had the guidance and wisdom that she's offered me and support over those years. I could not have done my job without Helen and other local staff beside my side, guiding me and keeping me in the right direction. Rather than talking about it in a doom and gloom sort of setting, we talk about it in a way that empowers people, that encourages them to put as much effort into the final days and the death and dying process as we do into birth.
To me, it was so hard talking about the dying person.
I know that Mum's got the Jura, and end of life is a time that should be celebrated, that we should encourage people to have control right to the very end, but have provisions in place so that if all of a sudden they don't have control because they're so unwell, that they've already given us those instructions and we've written them down and we know what to do. Advanced care planning on Groote, we refer to that document as a Jura. So Jura means paper.
Well, it's important to have Jura, like people who is dying.
It's a document that we use not only towards end of life, but we use with people in order to allow them to get their wishes, their instructions, their orders sometimes, documented for us about what care they would like from health staff and family as they move through to end of life. Sometimes these documents are used for people who have been diagnosed with a terminal illness or have a chronic disease that becomes palliative. Other times it's a document that is created for people that are quite well, that want to be able to get their orders or their instructions, as we often refer to them, written down while they are well and while they are thinking straight.
I was away, traveling around. So at the moment I'm here, what my wish, when I die, I have to go back home.
To Inurigi?
Yeah.
So, Janice, when the time is right for you to do your Jura, that's the sort of thing you might say to us to write on it.
To me, I finish up in my home.
In your home?
In my village.
Yeah.
So my two girls, my granddaughter, my eldest son see me.
Yep.
It's special to me and to my kids. I told my daughter it's very important. She have to take me back where my mom and dad are buried.
So you can be with them.
I can be with them. Spiritual can come back here.
Yeah.
I'll be always here
Yeah.
for my girls.
We're very lucky on Groote Eylandt that our Indigenous people use this document a lot. Sometimes people walk off the street basically into the clinic and ask to speak to us, and that's what they want done.
They'll usually go to the front desk and ask for either me or Jenny.
I've got Robert here, Jura. She's
They won't tell that person who is referring them to us. They'll just come in and we'll just go into Jenny's office, and that's when it gets rolling, and we discuss it with the family. We sit down with them. And
So, hello Robin, and thank you for coming in, Louisa. I'm very pleased to hear that you've come after lots of discussion to talk about finalising your advanced care plan. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. And I know it's been some months in the making. We've had lots of talks, and you've had lots of talks as family. So what we're going to do today is we're going to run through the questions that we have for you as health staff, and you're going to give us what you want to write down, your orders and your instructions to us. And one thing that you need to remember is any time in the future you can come and say to me, or say to Helen or to Bev, change that juror. I've changed my mind. So this is your juror guiding us as family, and Louisa and your other family members, your other daughters, about how you want to be cared for as your life goes on. Louisa's going to help. So if you have any questions that I ask that you don't understand, please ask Helen and Bev in language, and they will help.
Yep.
All right. So first off, do you think you'd like that pumping on the chest and the breathing tube down the throat, or would you want us to show respect?
she'd like for you to explain it more clearly, Jenny.
So it's about, should you suddenly collapse?
We talk about this journey, which part they are going on, and they really know what life and death is all about.
I'd rather go to the hospital.
You'd like to go to the hospital every time if we think you need to go to hospital?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's no problems at all. I can write that down.
The person themselves, they hold the power to this advanced care plan. It gives them power.
And I would like other family to help me, with me and with Louisa.
Right. Who are the other family that you're talking about, Robin?
My granddaughter.
Because they write everything down. Everything is written down and everything is planned for them. It gives them so much power and peace, because at the end of the day, you don't want people arguing over where you're going to get buried, who's the family members, what and where, you know. And everything is just written all down from that person's mouth onto that piece of paper, and that's it. That's the way it stays. And if they want to change it, they can come in and change it. That's one good thing about it, you know. It gives that person the power to say everything they want before they go.
How lucky are we to have community members taking such control over their wishes and coming and lining us up and saying, come on you guys, you know, write this down, get it finalised for us.
Now she was arrived, happy to come home. She told me already about what's going to happen. But Mom, I will just bring her back home. So in front of me, she passed away inside. Yeah.
And was she peaceful at the end?
Yeah, peaceful.
I got her message when I was away.
If the person who is away from home and wants to come back and die here, we respect that. This is where they belong. This is the country they were born and grew up here.
There's connections through the country and through the food and through our culture that make us strong. You know, you often hear in big cities about someone's gone walkabout. You know, they've gone walkabout because they needed to get strong again. They needed to go back to their country. So the same thing applies, I suppose, when we're talking about someone who's palliative.
When they go out doing things, or they're in the water, the healing of water, and the spirit that when we are gathered together and they feel much happier. They feel this spirit within them and the healing, because part of them is people are around them to support.
Back to country is a major thing for our people in terms of keeping our culture strong. You know, in those final days, being able to pass on culture to the next generation, the same information that's been passed down for generation and generation.
It was not so much talked about, but since we had sick people who on that palliative path come back to the community, and now it's talked about.
Helen knows the right way for us to work as clinic staff, as do the other local staff. There's often tricky family things, cultural things that I need to go to Helen for guidance and support, or she will come to me and say to us, you need to do this differently.
We had some key staff come to Darwin and learn some of our palliative care training and learn about advanced personal plans or advanced care plans. Then sort of taking that skill and returning back to country.
I think it'd be a special time for me.
Sometimes it's family that come to us, isn't it, and say they want our help to work through the process.
With my niece in Darwin, we've already nearly a year prepared that. If something happened, that it's not a shock to us, because we already knew about it, how she's going through this, and it's already planned. It is important, the word, like for speaking and my niece wish, everything should be written on the paper so it will be remembered.
If a patient comes into the hospital in Darwin and they have already done an advanced care plan in community, we can be quite satisfied that that advanced care plan was done in the right setting, with the right amount of time, with healthcare workers who they know and trust, and particularly important, with the right family and community members involved in that decision.
She will rest in peace, because everything that we are doing now, preparing for her when the time comes, then us as a community, families will be happy what we have done to respect the person who's dying.
Unfortunately, we probably average a death in this area, not just in Urugu, but every couple of weeks. So it's a very familiar story, and I think what we've done is we've been able to work with community to make that story a much happier story, a much more powerful story.
The importance of this jura is for the people to have a voice, and Apurwa, Akana, it makes them strong.
I suppose at the end of the day, the advanced care plan is ensuring that people's wishes are being fulfilled, you know, that their choices are happening, and you know, their choices and their wishes in so many different realms. You know, I think sometimes death has been medicalised so much that we've forgotten that people were dying well before there was a medical system, and to have this form that can mesh it all together, you know, I think it keeps our people strong, it keeps our spirit strong, and it keeps the country and the land strong.
It really makes me think how lucky we are here on Groote with our jura and advanced care plan, and how we've done so much for the people here, and we'd like to pass on this message to other communities, and you know, it makes such a difference. And it helps me and Jenny a lot to talk to my people and to my community, and it also helps them on that journey and pathway when you're going on that pathway.